Hi guys, this is Carlin Laborio with Teaching RLA with Carlin Laborio. I just wanted to make a quick video to show you the online testing platform that was created by Cambium, and anybody can go on this to practice different grade level new question types. I've made previous videos about the content clarifiers and what those look like, as well as when your student has oral admin, what that would look like and how they would be able to listen to the questions. So right now I don't have any accommodations set up. I just wanted to show you something that might be obvious, but to me it wasn't. So I wanted to show you what I have learned. So when you first get on this test, it has 7 questions. And if you click, it'll let you click between the questions. So these, the first one just looks like a regular multiple choice question. This is 5th grade. The second question you can tell is your short constructed response. So they can type in the box. And the third question is a regular multiple choice. Then it goes into multiple choice. And then here's your hot text. So you can see what that looks like. When you get to number 7, it's multiple choice. And then you might think that the test is over. Well, actually, if you click the next button, this message will come up and it'll say, you have not answered. Click yes to go to the next question or no to stay on this page. So you would click yes to go to the next question because I'm not wanting to answer the questions. I'm just wanting to see it. So now when you click that, now it shows you 8 through 19. And like I said, this is 5th grade. So this would be your other passage. And then you have some more questions. So then you can see multiple choice. This one looks like a regular multiple choice. And then if you keep going, select 2 correct answers. So there's the multi-select, regular, regular. And then when you get to number 19, let's see if there are more questions. Okay, so then it keeps going. So when I first looked at this, I thought it only had 1 through 7. So make sure you kind of look through all the different parts. So here you have poetry. And you can go through all these questions. The idea of having your students go on this is that they can practice. So there's a few, if your district is using Eduphoria, there are a few differences that I know I want to train my students on because it's different. So on Eduphoria, if you wanted to highlight this, you would select it and you would let go, and then the highlight button comes up. Well, that's not how it's going to be on STAAR. So they need to know that they would need to highlight the words, and then they come over here and they would need to click highlight, and then they can pick their color. And so that's how they have to do it every time they want to highlight. Let's say they want to highlight this part of the poem. There's also one here, and they would highlight, let's say they wanted to use yellow. And so that's how they would have to do the highlight. The other thing that's different is the sticky note. So they can click sticky note, and this is where they could type their jots, or they could type text evidence. And another difference, my students have been complaining on Eduphoria that the box, you can minimize and maximize it, but on STAAR, you can actually move it around and you can change the size. You can make it bigger, you can make it smaller, and then when you're done, you do have to click on this. But anyway, you can do save and close, which is nice because it gets out of your way. And then to open it again, you go here and you would click sticky notes, and then it'll come back up. So I personally like this better than Eduphoria, and I think it's going to be some parts of it I like better, and I think it'll be better for my students. Some parts of it I like Eduphoria better. But anyway, the other cool thing I wanted to show you is that they don't have on Eduphoria. So they have the sticky note that goes with each question. So if I were to go to the next question, which is the ECR, and I click on my sticky note, it's not there because it's associated with question 26. So there's my sticky note, just like on Eduphoria. But what's different about this is you can click Notepad. And if you click Notepad, you can type something that, let's say this might be good for your JOTS or for the ECR. So let's say you do your JOTS on the Notepad. What's cool about that is when you click Save and Close and you go to a different question, let's say you go to question 27 and you click Notepad, you can still access it. So Notepad you can use within that section, no matter what question you're on. So I'm kind of envisioning that as more of like a Foursquare or something where they would be able to jot, and it would go on each screen. It wouldn't be associated with that question, if that makes sense. Okay, so this is what the ECR will look like, kind of similar to Eduphoria. So they could go in and they could highlight, the keywords in the question, explain how the speaker's feelings about the grandparents change as they spend time together. So they could go in and they could highlight, yellow, and then they could do this a different color if they wanted to. And then, so now they know what the question is asking. I just don't like how you have to go through this process every time. I'm not a fan of the highlighting and how you have to click on this each time. I do prefer Eduphoria, the way they have the highlighting, but I do like the sticky note and the notepad better on Cambium on this one. Okay, so then when they move down, notice that when you're down here, you can't see the question anymore. So this is why it's good to write it on a piece of paper, on a planner, when you're looking at this screen, and then the student can kind of copy it onto here. Or what they could do, and I have tried seeing if it would let you copy and paste, but it does not. So like if I try to copy that and then and then for example, if I do a note, it will not let me paste it. But maybe what you could do is make this a bit, and I still haven't figured out how to, this thing can, maybe it's my mouse, I don't know. Anyway, I think that the sticky note, I think the easiest thing is to write this on a piece of paper while the student is looking at it, and then they can come down here and type. And so you can see that it looks similar to Eduphoria. It does have a couple extra features. What I would recommend, especially for your students who get spelling assistance, is have that turned on. And I did not turn it on to make this video, but if you did have it turned on and you were writing, in the passage, if the student has spell check, it will be on this toolbar, and they need to actually click on it in order for it to spell check the passage. If they don't click on that, it will not show any spelling words that are spelled wrong. So that's something that I feel like I need to train my students on, because they might not know that. So little things like that is why I think it's a good idea to put your students on this practice test and kind of walk around, whether you do it at your teacher table or you do it whole group. But I think it would be helpful to walk around and train your students what it's going to look like and how to use their accommodations, because a lot of them, if they get content clarifiers, they're not going to know how to do that and what it looks like. Let's see if there's any more questions after the ECR. Okay, so then it goes into, it looks like this is revising. Okay, so it started with the reading, it did all the reading, and then and then it had the ECR, and now it's going into revising. I don't know if this is going to be the same order on STAAR. I am not sure about that, but that is interesting that they put it in this order. It makes me wonder if that is going to be the order. And I think with my students, I might tell them to do the editing and revising first. I think that would be easier to do first and then go back to the reading and do the ECR last, but that's just my opinion. So this is the revising, sorry. You can tell these are all revising sentences, questions. Here's your SCR, which this would be a 1-point question for revising. Sentence 31 needs to be revised. In the space provided, rewrite sentence 31 in a clear and effective way. So they would go down, sentence 31. We are both thrilled to see right next to our apple pie on the table a first place ribbon. Obviously, that sentence is very awkward, so they would just need to rewrite it and make it sound better. And these, if you've gone to any training on scoring, you would know that conventions are not counted on short constructed responses. I'm not telling my students that, but it does have to be clear, and it has to be a sentence that they can understand. Otherwise, they cannot grade it. So I'm just basically telling mine that conventions do count. They don't need to know that, but just for teachers to know, if they miss a capital or a period, they're still going to get the point. Okay, so let's see what the next page is. Okay, so then looks like we're still doing revising because this is a transition question. So 2 passages. It does kind of match the blueprint. It has 2 passages with revising, and let's look. Okay, this is all revising. So now if I go to the next page, okay, now we have editing. So there's 3 editing questions, and I definitely recommend that you go through the test with content clarifiers so you can see how the editing looks, how the revising looks, and how the reading questions look with the content clarifiers. I think it's really interesting, and I just love that accommodation. Okay, so then we're on number 38. And here is the second editing passage with 3 questions. We have a drop down. That's good for them to practice. And then question 41 is also editing. So now it looks like this is the end of the test because now there's a red button here that wasn't here before that says end test. So if I try to click next, it doesn't go anywhere. So it looks like there's 41 questions, which matches the blueprint. There's supposed to be 40, I believe it's 40 or 41, I don't remember. And the ECR is included in that. So, which is worth 10 points. So that is pretty much what the entire, practice STAAR test looks like. And this one was called 2022 STAAR Redesign Grade 5 Reading Practice Test. So there's one of these for each grade level that you can have the students go in and practice. So I hope this video helped you, and I will put the link how to get to this website in the description for this video. Please make sure to follow me on YouTube, subscribe on my YouTube channel, Teaching RLA with Carlin Laborio. I also have a Facebook page with the same name. Please follow me there, and you will see several posts that I do in my classroom and different tips and tricks. And then I also have a teacher paid teacher store that I have several resources to help teachers with mostly with extended constructed responses, and also some other resources on there. And the name of my teacher paid teacher store, I will link in the description, but it's just my name, Carlin Laborio. All right, thanks. Have a great day. Bye.